Hey, Salvador Briggman here. Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. And today we're talking about how do you use and how do you raise money on GoFundMe for education-related costs, things like going to college, things like going to post-secondary, another graduate degree program, or like an MBA, or even if you're just raising money in order to purchase a course that is important to you and something that you want to learn and get an accreditation, maybe in something like meditation or something a little bit off the wall there. We're going to talk about that today and get into some practical strategies that you can use to raise more money. Okay, first of all, I completely believe in the value of education. It's why I do what I do. I love teaching. I love putting out quality education. And whenever possible, I try to put out free education as well, because I know a lot of people out there are trying to accomplish goals and trying to do things. And today, I want to talk about how you can use GoFundMe to raise money for education-related costs and expenses. So that could be going to college, going to a post-secondary afterwards. I guess you call it like a graduate degree program, maybe pursuing a PhD or a master's or an MBA, or raising money to purchase a course. Purchase an online course, maybe something that's a little bit more expensive in order to do things like maybe I want to get an accreditation in meditation. Maybe I want to become a coach or a consultant. These are all different things that we're going to talk about in a way that you can use GoFundMe. The first most important part that I want to discuss about GoFundMe comes down to the story that you're going to tell with your campaign. The story, when you tell someone a story, number one, you capture their attention. If I'm telling you a story about this crazy thing that happened to me last summer and like X, Y, and Z, and oh my gosh, that's insane, your ears are gonna perk up. News broadcasters do it all the time. When we come back from the commercial break, you're gonna learn how X, Y, and Z, you're gonna learn, this new drug that's now on the market and people are like raving about it or something like that. You're always using story as number one, a vehicle to capture attention. Number two, you can use story as a way to transmit information. And number three, you feel something throughout a story. So if you've ever gone to a movie theater, which I'm sure that you have, hopefully you're not just cramped in your apartment the way that I am working all the time. But when you actually go and you watch a movie, and if you notice the people in the audience, they are having visceral emotional reactions to the story that is unveiling on the screen. Every once in a while, if you go to a movie, you might see people crying, you might see people like jump when they're scared, and they will actually feel real emotions when it comes to the characters in that story. And you might actually find yourself liking one character, but not liking another. And if you're actually to meet them in real person, some of those feelings might actually linger, even though they're an actor and it's fake, and it's not actually happening. It's just a screen, that you're going to, and you're sitting in a dark room, you're feeling real emotions when you experience that story. The most important component of storytelling for our purposes is that story creates empathy. Creates empathy with the main character and also the context that it puts, and that kind of creates meaning in terms of why this is something that you should pay attention to. So let me give you an example here. Let's just say that you turn on the television and you catch yourself in the middle of a movie, and in that movie someone is crying. You don't know why they're crying, but you can kind of put together maybe it's their father's funeral, and you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of sad, like death is sad, and then you change the channel, because while that is a sad moment, it's not particularly meaningful to you because you don't understand the backstory. You don't know who this person is. You don't know if this is actually a good person or a bad person. There's absolutely no context when it comes to that story. Let's contrast that with another way of looking at that exact same situation. Let's just say you turn on the TV and you're watching this movie for the last hour, and you understand the struggles that this main character went through and all the obstacles that they had to overcome, and how their father was this great figure in their life, this figure that helped them transcend through some of these different obstacles, and who they really looked up to, and the moments that they shared together, and how the father almost protected that individual from like bad forces that were happening or something like that. And then the father dies. You then almost feel like a little bit of that emotion, like, wow, that is so sad. He was such a great man. And like, I can understand why this person is crying over his casket. This is such a sad moment for them. I can only imagine how they'd be feeling. The reason why there's a difference there between you turning on the TV, you just see someone crying, and you're like, that sucks, man. Yeah, that's sad. But like, there's not as much the same emotion, versus you're watching an hour-long movie, you understand the backstory and the meaning behind that moment, and that moment then holds so much more emotional weight. That is where the empathy comes in, and that's also why you empathize with that character. So story is all about telling the backstory that led to a particular event. The way that we do that with your campaign page is using things like the video, images that show tangibly people, who you are. If something horrific happened to you, showing the event, kind of painting that picture in people's minds, and as well the copy, or what's copy, what you could call the text, the actual text on the campaign that should obviously have correct grammar and spelling. I think that's kind of needless to say. These are the 3 ways that you are going to tell the story, and the best way is to paint a picture in people's minds in terms of what it is that happened, why it is that you need this money, what you're going to be using this for, which we'll talk about in just a second, and really giving the people a sense of also who you are. You're not just some faceless person on the internet. You're not just like with the television. They're not just turning on the TV and seeing a face and then switching off to another channel. They actually have a little bit of context of who you are and why it is you need this money, and a little bit of your values, if you will. To create empathy and context, what we're going to do are the events leading up. What are the costs, or what's at stake if whatever thing continues to persist, and what are your hopes, dreams, and a little bit of your, who you are, basically. Like, make yourself a human being to these other individuals that are out there. So in the context of education, let's talk a little bit about that. Here's a compelling story. Let's just say that you have been working your entire life really, really hard. You've always wanted to sort of get past, maybe none of the people in your family have been to college. So you've decided that you're gonna make it your mission to become well educated because you wanna make a difference in this world. So you've been all the time, maybe it's a little bit forsaking time with friends, a little bit with external activities in order to study and to do well in school. So you've been working really, really hard up until this point, and you got accepted into this incredible university. The only problem is you're not able to actually come up with the money to be able to go and to attend this college. If you are unable to get a quality education, then what is going to happen? What are the costs? Well, I'm not going to be able to help people out there. Maybe I'm trying to become a doctor. I'm not going to be able to help people in low-income communities. I'm not going to be able to help and do things like Doctors Without Borders. I'm not going to be able to basically help those individuals that have been dying to my entire life, and to extend a hand and help them maybe with their misfortune. And that kind of leads into telling a little bit about who you are in your dreams and your passion. What are you going to do with this education? Why is it that you need to enroll in this online course? How are you going to benefit others? How are you going to use your education? All too often I think we just talk about, I want this, I need this, this is something I'm looking to do, but you don't think about other people. Why is it that you need that? What are you trying to do? How is this going to benefit society at large? If you take a look again at those stories and those movies that we come across, we tend to root for the hero who's trying to do something good in the world. If we were to find out that individual who's crying over the casket is actually a really bad person who's screwed over lots of people in their lifetime, and like they also have really maniacal goals of like conquering the world and causing violence, we probably would not feel the same way towards that individual. We'd almost be like, yeah, that's horrible. Like, we would just want to be done with them. So by talking a little bit about what your goals are going to be and how this education is going to impact your life and your ability to serve the world or to serve other people, that is kind of putting you in more of the hero camp. And it's also allowing people to say, okay, I was young once too, and someone took a bet on me, and they can see themselves in your story, and they're like, okay, someone took a bet on me, they helped me out, I'm going to pass the baton forward, and I'm going to help this individual, even if it's just for $25 with their GoFundMe campaign. The second most important thing that's going to make a difference with your education related GoFundMe campaign is the telling of that story, or what we can call the promo, the marketing, the promotion, however you want to phrase it. And this is really just telling that story in different places. And you're going to be doing that on things like Facebook, you're going to be doing that on Twitter, you might be doing it even on like LinkedIn. Wherever it is that you can share this, any kind of like social media network, sending text messages if possible, calling people up, emailing. You want to tell this story. If you are unwilling to tell the story and to promote the story, then I hate to break it to you, you cannot expect to be successful with GoFundMe. I have a lot of other videos out there talking about how you gotta promote your project, you gotta promote the story, you gotta show people this is something that's freaking important to you, man. And this is the reason why you're willing to put yourself out there. You're willing to almost be a little bit embarrassed having to ask for money, but that's because you're so invested in this and you're committed to this. I want to talk a little bit more actually about this segment, but really quickly I just want to get into also number 3, which is you need an appreciation strategy. This could also be, saying things like thank you. And the whole goal here behind an appreciation strategy is you want people to feel good about having given you money. You want people to feel good about having taken a chance on you and actually given money to charity. You want people to feel good about having said and raising their hand, yes, I'm willing to help you with this thing. And obviously you do this with thank yous. Like I think that's kind of elementary. Like everyone should know that. But you can also do this publicly. You can publicly thank people or give them a shout out or mention all of the new donors. This is an incredible way to honor those individuals who have helped you with your GoFundMe campaign, but also to make them feel good and want them to like that post and to share it. It's another excuse for you to talk about your charity fundraising campaign. So many nonprofits do this. I mean, if you look at any successful nonprofit out there, they're always honoring their donors. They're always trying to make their donors feel special. They're always trying to make other people be like, wow, I want my name on this wall, or I want to be able to attend this super exclusive fundraising gala. I want to be able to be a part of that, and it makes you also kind of want to get in on that action. Personally, I found that these two elements, the promo and the storytelling, are kind of what hang up a lot of people because they don't know how to do that. Like, how do you actually put together a powerful story that gets a stranger's attention and then gets them to give money and makes them want to spread the word? That is the secret sauce. I spent a lot of time studying this, and I've also even written a book on this called Crowdfunding Personal Expenses, which has Audible, Amazon, paperback. You can pretty much grab it there. And I wanted to go a level deeper. So what I've done is I've actually taken the time to put together a complete online course, a complete step-by-step course showing you how to do this. I also include things like a fundraising template that you can send out via email. Like, you literally just copy and paste this thing, and you can use this to do all of the communications for the campaign. I think that's really powerful because you don't always know what to say, but this will help you do that. So you have a fundraising template. We also have a fundraising checklist. You can go through these items. If you hit all these different items, you're virtually guaranteed to have success with GoFundMe and to raise more money. These are the things you probably didn't even think of, and include that in the fundraising checklist. And in addition, I have comprehensive video training modules that walk you through step by step how to do this. How do you tell an effective story? How do you get strangers to donate to your crowdfunding campaign, to your charity fundraiser, to your education campaign? And also, what are some of the tools that you can use to enhance this entire process, and tools that are free, mind you, or extremely low budget? These are the things you can use to raise more money. And if you are serious about actually doing this online course, if you're serious about using money for education and trying to level up and get that degree, I think you owe it to yourself to be all in on this thing. What I also wanted to do was I wanted to kind of give you a blueprint in terms of the marketing strategy, which is my expertise, the marketing strategy behind a successful GoFundMe campaign. So you also find that there. This is kind of like the only thing that you need in order to be completely well equipped going into your GoFundMe campaign, and also just makes it so much easier. You don't have to hunt around trying to figure out all of this stuff. I've done this over the last several years. I do have some free videos out there on YouTube, but they just kind of like scrape the surface. This is the nitty gritty. This is the nuts and bolts behind an extremely successful GoFundMe campaign. I think the most important question here is like, okay, so you've done all this. You're clearly passionate about your work. Like, Sal, why are you charging for this? Like, why is it that you're doing this? Like, is this some kind of like scammy thing, or like, why is it that you're charging money? And the answer is simple. I had to take the time to go out there and research and figure out all of this. I actually invested the time and the attention in terms of figuring out the strategies that are proven to work. This is incredibly time intensive. And then I took the time to make high quality videos, high quality produced videos, with a really great camera, with really great editing, and to make this snappy, easy to understand, fun to enjoy, and fun to actually go through these different videos and to learn these different topics. I've invested my time, I've invested my work, and really trying to put together a quality educational experience for you, and that's why I charge for it, because it's just a level up from my YouTube videos. But in addition, I think it's important to meet you halfway. So that what I've done here is I understand that this is kind of a touchy area where you maybe don't have a lot of money to invest into an online course. So what I'm doing, never before I've done this before, I'm doing an exclusive YouTube promotion where I'm going to be cutting the cost to that course by 80%. It's ridiculous. Like this is a no-brainer. If you are interested in actually finding and discovering that step-by-step strategy, and you want to learn how to do this, how to put together the killer story that can get strangers to give money, you want to have the marketing engine behind this, you can literally just plug your campaign into this engine and you're virtually guaranteed to get more donations for your project. And you also want to figure out, like, how do you go out there and how do you tease this? Do you have a, something that you can just use, Sal, that like I can just copy basically and paste? And that's what I've included in this offering for you. So this is a massive discount. I've obviously put a lot of time and effort into this course, and I hope that this helps meet you halfway and that you do enjoy this. I've only had positive reviews about people who, students who have enrolled in this course. It typically is for individuals that are like you, interested in raising money for education-related costs, also raising money for things like maybe like an online course, or raising money for any kind of charitable component when it comes to your costs related to, higher education. But in addition, I've actually had a lot of nonprofits that have been really interested in this course because a lot of the principles that we talk about that are proven to work to get donations, nonprofits are also interested in that kind of material. So like, how do you actually get people to donate after seeing your social media message? That is something that's also really valuable to a nonprofit. So we also have nonprofits that enroll in that course. I'm including a link down below which will give you a little bit more information about this online course, which you can go through at your own pace. I've made it super easy, super simple, very digestible. I really think that these videos are, it's not like a boring, hour-long lecture. I try to make them snappy. I try to make them emotionally interesting, and also, brought my passion and my A game to that as a teacher. My name is Salvador Briggman. I also invite you to check out some of the other videos that I got out there on YouTube, and also you took away some great things when it comes to the importance of storytelling, why this primes people to give money, how you need to promote your project, and in addition, the approach that you should have as the person running this campaign to get individuals to feel good about giving money to your project, and also get them wanting to give more, and also spread the awareness about your campaign. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Come subscribe if you want more videos like this. My name is Sal, and I will see you next time.